We understand that in 2020, COVID really impacted a lot of small businesses right here, and that impact is still going on for that same small business owner.
So I think, and I'm seeing a lot of it, people are looking to improve their efficiencies, consolidate their vendors or switch vendors because now we are up on a rise.
Knowing my clients, knowing that they need these services to prosper, I wanted to focus more on not just being an insurance provider, but being a connector, being a resource that goes far and beyond. Welcome back to Small Business Never Sleeps. My name is John Slusser, and this is Nathan Maude, and we are the co-founders of the Indiana Small Business Association and your host of Small Business Never Sleeps.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Today is episode number 3. John, I don't know about you, but I'm having more and more fun every time we do this. So Small Business Never Sleeps is geared specifically towards that small business owner and those who represent the small business industry.
And in today's episode, we're going to spend our time talking about our upcoming Indiana Small Business Association event, the Small Business Never Sleeps Foundation, upcoming Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. We'll take a look into sponsorship of ISBA and look into what ISBA has experienced in the last 90 days. You ready to dive in?
I'm ready to dive in.
Let's dive in. Well, Nathan, it's been a fun ride so far serving the small business industry in such a dynamic way. Instead of looking at past the small business owner, we're placing our sights right on them and focusing our attention on serving them. One of the ways we're focused on the small business owners is through our network of trusted advisors. And from the last couple of episodes, we were asked to share a little bit more detail as to how our network of trusted advisors serves the small business community. What can you tell us about our network of trusted advisors, and what can you tell us about how they serve the small business community?
Hey, I know I'm a little biased, but I think it's awesome. I think they're awesome. Recap from our last podcast, John and myself, created this podcast to help that small business owner. We realized we can only do so much for them, and there was a lot of opportunity out there to help promote their business and move it forward. We just weren't the right assets to do so. So we got together, John and myself, and we put together a team of industry experts that represent a variety of different industries. So those make up bankers, CPAs, digital marketing, as well as print marketing, legal, outsourced IT, business insurance. I'm on the health insurance side, so we're trying to cover all aspects we can. But again, we wanted those values to align with our values of who we brought into this group. Therefore, we did interviews. John and myself, we've known a lot of these gentlemen and ladies for a long time. But some of those we brought to the table and we did interviews. And the rule within ISBA, the rule we follow, is once you become a partner, you now have a say on who's coming into this association. We all have to agree that their values and services align and that they're bringing that top-notch expert to the Indiana Small Business Association.
Yeah, Nathan, I agree. I couldn't say it better. My expertise falls in insurance, right? I'm a nerd for insurance, and I love to get in the weeds of insurance. And that said, I don't feel the same way about banking or accounting or marketing. I'm not going to get into the weeds of banking.
Absolutely.
I don't know how. I'm not an expert there. But knowing my clients, knowing that they need these services to prosper, I wanted to focus more on not just being an insurance provider, but being a connector, being a resource that goes far and beyond just insurance, right? I wanted to focus on being that true resource for our clients. So the best way to help was, really through ISBA, right? To form a group of trusted advisors, like you said, that represent all these other industries who are that nerd in their industry, who's going to dive into it, get into the weeds of that specific industry, and will bring that expertise to the client. And so far, the impact's been great, right?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. As we speak to those small business owners, we've realized a few different things. First being they need to specialize in best practices within their company. Also resources to their company. How can they grow? How can they get better? And then the third thing being with helping with efficiencies. What do they have in place now? And what can we or them put into place that could make their company more efficient? So coming up on April 15th, the Indiana Small Business Association is hosting our first event that is geared specifically towards these 3 items to help with efficiencies within small business. John, do you mind telling us more about this upcoming event?
Yeah, absolutely. So on April 15th, we're hosting our first event. We'll be meeting from 4 to 6 p.m. at Bar Louie. This event is both live and virtual, as we'll have a Zoom call rolling that you can tune into. For the first 45 minutes of the event, we have it set up to where you'll be learning about maximizing small business efficiencies, and that's going to come from Jen Ramo. Jen is the owner of Amplify Consultants. She's a professional.
A Spitfire.
Exactly.
They better be ready for her.
She is fun and she's incredible, and she's a professional EOS implementer. Not to steal Jen's thunder at all, but EOS begins and ends with creating efficiencies to put more time and attention back into your day. From previous podcasts and conversation, we talked about how the small business owner wears so many hats. There's just not enough time in the day, right? Which is why the small business owner never sleeps. So how can we help the small business owner start to sleep a little bit more, right? And that is just to create some efficiencies surrounding their operations. So what EOS stands for is the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And that operating system is practical, and it's a proven tool that's used to strengthen your business and to grow some needed efficiency just to get better. But here, we understand, right? We get it. Everybody is zoomed out. Everybody's tired of being talked at, during these webinars. So what we want to do is just be a little bit different. So this event is both practical and it's tangible. We're going to complete an organizational checkup. There's several questions where you have to kind of grade where your organization stands on a specific topic, right? And then from there, we're also going to give everybody a free copy of Traction by Gino Wickman, which is just an awesome book to dive into, and that kind of sets the platform for EOS. And then for about that last hour or so, we're going to save some time for networking. So if you're live and in person, we're going to be masked up. We'll follow all of the appropriate COVID guidelines. Grab a drink, get a little bit of food, and have a good time socializing with some like-minded individuals that represent small business. However, if you are tuning in via Zoom virtually, we will have some breakout rooms that rotate. So it's going to be kind of like speed dating via Zoom afterwards, where we'll have about an hour or so. So whether you're live or you're virtual, you'll be able to experience the exact same amount of fun.
That's awesome that we can accommodate the Zoom breakout rooms. I think that's going to be valuable to those not necessarily comfortable enough with networking yet, but it's also going to be a great feeling to be back in person with our mask up and networking, seeing other individuals, enjoying a cocktail. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree, Nathan. And I'm really looking forward to the event coming up. It's going to be an incredible value for the small business owner and really those who represent small business. Maximizing small business efficiencies will be impactful. And we have a shared goal of impacting the small business world through philanthropy, right? That's one other way that we want to impact, not just with the best practices and the resources and the services. We want to be able to be philanthropic in nature.
Absolutely.
So we've worked on the Small Business Never Sleeps Foundation to give back, right? Tell us more about the Small Business Never Sleeps Foundation and why we got it going.
Absolutely. So the Small Business Never Sleeps Foundation, it's strictly geared, and we're here for that small business owner. Here to help them with that trusted advisor, but we're also wanting a plan on giving back, like you said, starting a philanthropy and donating to an Indiana small business. The way we're going to do that is we're producing shirts, polos, as well as T-shirts that say "Small Business Never Sleep" on it. Those will be available for purchase on our website at indianasba.com. And then a percentage of those proceeds will be going back to helping a small business in need, as well as we're going to have a golf outing, I believe, not coming up, but sooner rather than later in August. We're going to have a lot of small business owners there, whole sponsors, just have a good time, get out on the golf course with other like-minded business owners. Again, a percentage of those proceeds will be going to helping a small business in the Indiana market, as well as just being that voice for the small business owner on this podcast here at Small Business Never Sleeps.
Right. And I know that you and I are both super passionate about Small Business Never Sleeps Foundation. We really want to be able to give back to those small businesses right here in our community. We understand that in 2020, COVID really impacted a lot of small businesses right here. And that impact is still going on for that same small business owner. And I've seen so many disruptions, shutdowns, furloughs, laid off employees, employers even closing their doors. Like, we understand all of the tragedy that's taken place and even continues to take place. And because we recognize that, we're right here to grind along with you, right? We want to roll up our sleeves and we just want to help. And that's what that foundation is built for. It's a platform to serve that small business owner that never sleeps, focused on supporting that small business owner.
Absolutely. I'm excited about the Small Business Never Sleeps Foundation, and I think it's going to be great for small businesses. Really looking forward on taking a deeper dive within this foundation, seeing how we can grow it from within and outward just to make our impact even bigger. I know you're passionate about the philanthropy aspect of it. And so am I, which is where we share that passion. So, John, we've had this podcast going for 3 episodes now. I think it's taken off. I'm looking forward to the future. So what can we expect when it comes to this podcast and what's ahead?
Yeah. So to summarize, right, the first episode was kind of introductory, right? It was informative in nature. It shared a lot of details about who Indiana Small Business Association is, Small Business Never Sleeps podcast, what we're really getting into. Second episode, we had Michael Nance on to share some best practices about Fisher printing, print marketing, et cetera. As we move forward, we've already done all of the due diligence from an information, information unload pretty much of what Small Business Never Sleeps is and who ISBA is. This is kind of that last episode to share a lot of details. But moving forward, we're going to focus on the small business owner. So we'll be flipping back and forth between a partner and what they're able to bring to the table via their services and capabilities. And then the next episode, so the in-between episode, will be focused on that small business owner who's just been through the ups and downs. Like you said the other day, they maxed out their credit card, they've put their life savings on the line, they're grinding 24/7, and then finally they had their breakthrough, or maybe they didn't have their breakthrough. We want to hear that story. We want to dive into that journey, let them share it, and let the small business owner or those who represent small business understand that it's not always easy, right?
No,
and we're here to walk by their side.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I can't wait to get more business owners in here, hear their stories, hear their ups and downs, and provide some content, letting that small business owner watching us, that not everybody, but people have been in their shoes before.
Yeah, I get it. But as you're well aware, I love the podcast. I know you do too. And everything that's involved with it, hanging out with small business owners, hanging out with people who represent small business, learning more about those industries and those best practices. It's what I really look forward to. And I'm really looking forward to some of the stories that these small business owners have went through and what they'll be able to share. And just really looking forward to that small business owner at this table. But for the folks who want to get involved with ISBA or Small Business Never Sleeps, what are some of the ways that they can jump in and really join us on this journey?
Yeah, absolutely, John. Ways people can get involved with the Indiana Small Business Association as well as the Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. We're looking for sponsors, and these sponsors are going to be the sponsors of our quarterly events. We are having our first one April 15th, still in need of a sponsor there, but people say, well, what's a sponsorship get you? You will have a time to speak at the beginning of our event as well as the end of our event. Be able to network with all the other small business, like-minded people there while at that event. And as a sponsor, we would love to have you on our Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. Share your story of who you are, what you do, and as well as kind of how did you land in that field that you are in.
Right. Not only is sponsorship a way just to dive in head first and to be a part of the team, and you get to create an impact from the jump, right? So sponsorship is something that we are really looking forward to in terms of getting some folks involved. But another way to get involved with ISBA is to come to our events. Our events are open to anybody that is a small business owner or represents small business or just wants to learn more about small business. So come to our events. It's great. It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of panel discussions, but a little bit different. Like we had mentioned, we're not here to talk at you. We're here to provide you with practical, tangible items for you to take back to your business just to get better. And that's what we're really, really focused on.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Indiana Small Business Association has been going for nearly 90 days now. We're almost 90 days in. So what has the responses been like so far from your end?
Yeah, that's a good question. From my perspective, the resources that are generated from ISBA have been phenomenal, right? We mentioned in the very beginning that all I do is insurance. I'm an insurance nerd. I love to get into the weeds of insurance, but beyond that, I can't do much more. I don't understand all the ins and outs of banking. I don't want to have anything to do with accounting.
No.
I have no experience when it comes to the legal side of things. However, all of my clients, they have these needs, right? They need these services. They need these connections. So what I'm able to do is be more than just an insurance broker. I'm able to help our small business clients with some of these resources and some of these capabilities that our partners really share. And I've been able to do that, right? They're right here next to me. We have these biweekly events. We can, or biweekly lunches where we can network and really touch base with kind of what's going on. And there's been some clients of mine who have really needed some help with some of these different industry focuses, and those trusted advisors are right there,
Absolutely.
able to make connections in real time. And the cool thing is the experience has been the exact same. So the level of experience or level of service that they've experienced with me has been the exact same level of service they've experienced with those I put in front of those clients.
Absolutely.
And it's been great that character has been well-rounded all the way through.
Hey, I couldn't agree more. The Indiana Small Business Association, I think, has truly made me look like a rock star to my clients. Did a client follow up a week or two ago. He was letting me know he's looking for a new accountant, maybe somebody more proactive, helping him get his business to that next level. That's when I was able to refer him a CPA within ISBA. And he absolutely loved it. Said it was amazing working with him, and he was really excited for the opportunity and potential there. He emailed me back afterwards. They met and said, "Hey, can't thank you enough. This CPA is a rock star. Looking forward to the relationship with him." This afternoon, I was on a meeting, and they need some help with print marketing. So I threw Michael Nance their way. It's a startup business looking for some billboards, flyers, and so on. So again, it's just learning about that business owner, seeing the assets the Indiana Small Business Association has, and then helping that small business owner with their growth and their potential.
Yeah, absolutely. We just talked about, how ISBA has been functioning for the last 90 days. We both agree. The resources that have been given have been phenomenal. Best practices we've learned, diving into each other's industries. It's really just been a great time more than anything. But what we realized is small business is still alive and well. Small business is going to continue in 2021, regardless of the 2020 tragedy and crisis of COVID that we faced, right? So taking us back to the uncertainty of 2020, moving into 2021, how are we looking to position those resources the same way we did in 2020?
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited 2021's here. 2020, as all of our viewers know, it's kind of like we went into lockdown. Well, we did go into lockdown. But when it came to business expenses, as well as business maybe switching providers, different vendors, there was a lot of uncertainty within the market. So it was kind of a, let's leave things how they are. We'll deal with this when the pandemic's over. So I think, and I'm seeing a lot of it, people are looking to improve their efficiencies, consolidate their vendors or switch vendors, because now we are up on a rise and we're kind of taking off again from an economic level of where we were before 2020. So I think being able to provide these partners within ISBA is going to be great when we have these companies looking to then finally expand their efficiencies as well as their vendors within their company.
I absolutely agree, Nathan. And let me add a little bit more clarity to the question I asked, which was, in 2020, it was a resource-driven environment, right? There was a lot of clients that we represented that just needed some resources. They really needed some help in several different areas of their industries. And we were the first ones to step up and say, hey, here's some resources. Here's the way we can help. Understanding that in 2021, we're hoping that we see the light at the end of the tunnel and everything starts to open back up again and everything gets back to normal. And I think that the resources that we gave in 2020 will just continue on and even grow in 2021, because what we realized is that we were able to really help with efficiencies and to create a large impact that will help a small business owner thrive and a small business owner grow. I think we're going to see a couple things. I think we're going to see a small business trying to get back on their feet and to get moving in the same direction that they were trying to move in early 2020. I also think we're going to see a lot of small business owners dive into the market and to create new small businesses. It's going to be a lot of entrepreneurship that's going to take place where we're going to be able to provide those resources and provide a lot of value.
Absolutely. I agree. I read a study from Forbes in the month of February this year, over almost 250,000 new businesses were opening.
It's incredible.
So there's always a silver lining in everything.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for tuning in to Small Business Never Sleeps, a podcast built for small business by small business.
And we have podcasts featuring best practices, information, and guests ready for you every Wednesday. This is a Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. You can find us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, as well as all of your other favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google, and Stitcher.
Next time, Nathan and I will spend some time talking with Jake Sappenfield, Senior Vice President, Commercial Banking Team Leader with First Financial Bank, where we will spend some time learning about banking best practices, access to capital, and how 2021 lending is moving forward. And don't forget to keep on grinding, because small business never sleeps.